guys, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today I'm doing a subscriber requested video. Actually, this video was requested by a few different subscribers about doing another creative writing type video using the tarot. So I did a creative writing video how to utilize it with poetry, and I thought now I could do it with short story. So those of you maybe just, wanting to do something a little bit more creative in your journals, or maybe you're not even thinking of writing a whole book, but just something for fun, some sort of creative outlet, something different than your day to day, this might be fun. So myself, I'm a high school English teacher, so I'm very familiar with short story, especially trying to teach plot structure to my high school freshmen. But I also have seniors as well, and they're not really doing so much of the creative stuff because they're more into the nonfiction by the time they hit senior year. But anyway, so I thought this would be a lot of fun. So I have my deck here. I have the Practical Magic Tarot, and I have done out a plot triangle for you guys. So you could put this in your journal, you could put it on a piece of paper, but it's fun to maybe, plot out a little short story for yourself. So it could be a little one pager, maybe a little few pages, but it's totally up to you. So let me just kind of go over the different positions. So we have the exposition, which is all of your background information, kind of like when they would have like the foreword or the prologue in a play or in a short story. And you even hear it in your TV shows. Like, for me, one of my favorite TV shows of all time was Star Trek: The Next Generation, and they would have the exposition at the beginning of the show. When they do all of the talking, you hear Captain Picard's voice, and they're kind of doing the little intro. That's actually the exposition. So yes, you could pull a few cards to get some background information. You can pull as many cards as you want for that rising action, everything that's leading up to this change in the story, which you could also use the tarot for. Then you go into your falling action, so everything that happens after the big change in the story, where the whole thing just kind of like takes a turn. And then of course you have your resolution or your ending to the story. Now you get to decide what type of conflict, or actually, you know what? Many stories and movies, they have several different types of conflict going on. It's not just one conflict. If you're going to have an interesting story, you're going to want to have lots of twists and turns, which usually includes a lot of different types of conflicts. So you could have person versus person, person versus themselves. Usually that's a common element within a short story. Person versus nature, thinking of the movie Castaway, person versus society, person versus the supernatural, a la Ghostbusters, You could also come up with a theme for your story. But, those of you that are creative writers looking for a little outlet, looking for a little bit of fun, and you want to utilize the tarot, this would be a great way to do that. And then of course you could get more in depth if you wanted to. You could use the tarot to really flesh out your characters and things like that. But I leave that up to you. I just want to show you maybe how I might create a little short story. So let's quickly go ahead and pull some cards, and I'll make some notes on here. So yeah, let's do this. Let's create a little story, and if you wanted to get more, how do I say, more psychological with it, you could actually have this be a reflection of your life. So, what is the exposition of your story? What is the rising action in your story? When was a big change in your life, or what is the next big change? What happens afterwards, and how would you like to see this section or chapter in your story resolve itself? So this is not like ending of your life. This is like the ending of one of the chapters, one of the many chapters in our lives. Okay, so that's just a little, if you want to do it that way, you can. But for me, I'm just going to do a little fictional story here. So I'm going to ask for the exposition. I'm going to pull 3 cards for exposition. I think that'll give me some clear background, maybe, of what's going on. All right, so we have the 5 of Cups. Why does that card keep coming up? My goodness. We have the Ace of Pentacles. And we have the 9 of Swords. Okay, interesting background information. So let's see. Ace of Pentacles, I don't know, some up and coming town. What do we have like that? And well, not really in San Diego, but maybe in the like Inland Empire maybe area. You know what? Let's just say that this takes place in Murrieta. Okay, so this story is going to be taking place in Murrieta, because there's a lot of housing developments and things out there. It's pretty much still kind of the boonies. It's just wine country, but you know, I'm getting that with the Ace of Pentacles. I'm getting, you know, that in this story, let's turn Murrieta into a kind of a, you know, where everybody's like down on their luck, and you know, a lot of people are having, you know, it's almost like the Great Depression out there. Oh, you know what? Let's make a Great Depression. Okay, I know that actually the town of Murrieta probably wasn't around during the Great Depression, but you know, it's my story, so we're gonna make it Depression era. This is my story, people. Okay, so Depression era. We'll go early 1930s. And it's a town of Murrieta that maybe was up and coming, but you know, everything came to a halt when the Depression, you know, set in, you know, when the basically economy collapsed. But like I said, I know that the real Murrieta probably wasn't even around during then, because it's a brand new community. So, but for my story, that's what's going to happen here. So remember, it's your story. You guys can do whatever it is that you want. Okay, so I'm going to leave these cards here, and then I'm going to pull the rising action. So you guys can pull as much as you want for the rising action, but for the sake of this video and not making it too long, I'm just going to pull a couple of pieces of rising action. So what happens here? What is some action that takes place? Ooh, we have the Magician. And then we have the Six of Swords. Oh, okay. Okay. So next in our story, okay, I'm just going to put those cards there. We'll say that there's a youngster, a young child. Maybe I'll make them like 14 or 15 years old. Okay, so 15-year-old. So we have this 15-year-old who knows that this world they live in, this life they live in, is not it's not permanent. You know, that yes, everything's a little depressing right now, everything's a little sad, but that this person can find the magic, you know, in all of this. But it's difficult because, you know, the world that she lives in right now is, you know, one of heartache. It's long, arduous journeys. It's, you know, it's not good. So here we have this basically little magician fighting. Basically, this would be like person versus society in a dark world full of basically no magic. Yeah, full of sadness, really. It's kind of sad. Sadness is sad. Yes, we know. All right. Okay, so that would be part of my rising action. Ooh, so I'm interested. Where's this story taking me? What else is happening in the rising action? You know, so maybe she's like, you know, trying to, you know, do all these fun, high vibe things, and people are just shooting her down. Freaking person versus society. That sucks. Okay, so the next rising action, we have the Chariot and we have the Eight of Wands. Okay, so she decides, forget this town. You know, she's 15, but it's 1930s. She's taking off. She's basically, well, at that time, you know, a very, very young lady. So let's see. We have Chariot, Ace of Wands. So yeah, so she leaves town. You know, and you can even pull more cards. You could even say that, you know, maybe she eats. This is not a zombie tale. She meets a young boy along the way, and maybe, you know, they meet some other youngsters who have that same magic about them, and maybe this turns into kind of like a tween movie or something where they basically she's taken her parents' buggy, which maybe is like the last thing they have left that they didn't have to sell because of the Great Depression. So yeah, maybe she leaves town in her parents' buggy. Yeah, and then maybe she meets some fantastic folks along the way. Maybe there's a love connection with the little boy that she meets. Who knows? Okay, so what's the turning point in the story then? So like I said, you could obviously go so much deeper, especially if you're actually like thinking of writing something, really in depth. But I'm just like skimming the surface right now. But climax. What's the climax of the story? Ooh, okay, I'm gonna pull another card on this because this story has taken a turn. Okay, so she runs into she runs into this very sage woman along the way, and maybe she's because they're in their buggy, right? And gasoline apparently is lasting forever, and she runs into this woman who sees this group of kids, takes them in, feeds them what little she has, and she imparts this wisdom, and it's like this a serendipitous meeting, because come to find out, she used to take care of her father, and actually her father is da, 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 a magical person himself, and he's been keeping it low key, and not, didn't tell his daughter about any of this. And so, it turns out she does need to go back home because her father has been waiting to train her in the ways of, possibly witchery or, whatever it is you want to do with this story. But yeah, so she meets a mentor that tells her the truth about her father. And she heads back home. And then, of course, you can really go into more of that, like what happens when she goes home, and maybe it's like this, I've kind of kept this from the family, and what does mom have to say, or maybe mom's not even in the picture, who knows. Okay, so then we go into some falling action. I'll just pull a couple of cards. What happens after all of this? All right, excellent. I love where this story is going. Okay, so now that she has the guidance, here we have the Star and we also have the Knight of Wands. So now that she's under her father's tutelage, she starts, her and her father together maybe start really turning the town around. I see that with the Nine of Wands, where they start putting their magic together to uplift the spirits of the people of the town, totally starts transforming the whole freaking town. I love this. Okay, so they begin to transform the town with their magic. And I could do more about that as well. Okay, so what's the resolution? Oh, I hope it's a happy ending. What's the happy ending? We'll pull two cards. We have the Ten of Pentacles and we have the Three of Pentacles. I love that. So the happy ending is that what she was looking for was in her very own home. Even though she left home, she came back home to where she found out the true meaning of family and magic, and learning to work with family to create that magic. Yeah, so yeah, it's a very happy ending. So it ends with her at home creating magic. And yeah, it's almost like, oh, you can even do like in Wizard of Oz, how they go from black and white to Technicolor. I mean, we're better than Technicolor now, but I mean, I guess you could do Technicolor if you wanted to, but maybe like do the movie in black and white, if this were a movie. And then, when the father and the daughter, really start, turning the town around. Maybe things start turning into color. It's like people's eyes are being opened, finally to the magic that's around them. And maybe things aren't as dire as everybody says it is, that they had the power to make change, all along. And all they needed was a little inspiration and a little bit of magic. And maybe that is our resolution. Okay, so what then would be the theme of this story? Actually, I like this story. Actually, I should write this story. The theme is the Queen of Pentacles, is that you have the ability to create change. So it's the change maker. The theme is that power resides within. And that'll just be kind of like a running theme throughout the whole book, or throughout the whole movie, or the one-page story, or whatever it is that you want to do. So yeah, there you guys go. See, that was nice and quick. Of course, I could go back and flesh it out, and I could really, like use this to really flesh out my characters and things like that. Like maybe we'll call the main character, her name is like Jane or something like that, like plain Jane, but she's so not plain. She's like freaking magician. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. So this is, just another way to utilize your tarot. So like I said, you could use this more psychologically, if you wanted to kind of show like what's going on in your life right now and the direction you wish it to take, because, of course, the tarot can guide you, and you could take those steps to make the changes you wish to see in your life, of course. But you could also do this just for fun, and write a little fun little story. So let me know if you do this. If you do this, actually, you know what? Do a VR to this. Yeah, do a video response and just, let me know like what story did you create. Please tell us your stories. I'm all about stories, okay? Hence why I'm an English teacher. I love to not only read stories with my students, but I love to listen to their personal stories, because everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a lot of stories, okay? So yeah, let's have some fun. And yeah, I mean, let's call this, if you're gonna do a VR, just call it #tarot short story, something like that. Okay? All right, so that's it for me, spiritual homies. I hope you dug this. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, and don't forget to click that ding, ding, ding notification bell for more videos just like this. And if you want to catch a reading from me, head over to www.kittenswaitsandtarot.com. In my shop, I have a plethora of readings. I have my room of body sprays. I have my salves. I have my bracelets that I make. I have a few different pendants. I have a travel witch pendant, ancestral altar pendant, my rainbow bridge pendants from your furry, feathery, scaly loved ones who have crossed. I also have my Wally's World Oracle, which was community created and community funded. That's my little Wally Wallito. And I also have a newsletter over on my website. It's free to sign up. I hit your inbox on the 1st of every month, and that is the only time I email you anything. But it has witchy DIYs, arts and crafts DIYs, channels that I'm watching, stones that I'm using, herbs that I'm using, etc., etc. So that interests you, definitely sign up. And check out the Leon Mystery School. That's right, guys. I have my own mystery school. I am the head mistress. And there are 6 fabulous teachers over there teaching everything from Mayan astrology to different ways to utilize crystals and science, and you have ancestors and love spells and etc., etc. So much stuff. So definitely check it out. I'm very, very excited about that, because that's been a dream, is to own my, or not own, but like to have my own mystery school. So yeah. And if you want to throw a little love my way so I can create more and do more for you spiritual homies, head over to patreon.com/kittenswaitsandtarot. A little bit helps a lot. So I will catch you spiritual homies later. All right, peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.